Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know this rush hour of July 26, Friday. I'm Riza Diaz. Jump-starting today's rush with President or Vice President Leni Robredo still being hunted by accusations of involvement in ouster plots against President Duterte. After former Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno, Bicoy's counsel Larry Gadon may have found another target in Robredo. Marian Enriquez has the story.
The camp of Vice President Leni Robredo is still wondering why she was linked to an alleged plot to oust President Rodrigo Duterte. Robredo is one of the 35 respondents in a criminal complaint of sedition and inciting to sedition, among others, after Peter Advincula alias Bicoy claimed their involvement in Project Sodoma and in producing the 6-part Ang Totoong Narcolist videos.
This is a clear case of political harassment. As of now, I just like to officially say na wala pa kami nakatanggap kahit na anong communication from DOJ. No subpoena, no copy of the affidavit. So we don't know any of the specifics as to how and why the Vice President was included in the referral of PNP.
Advincula's lawyer Larry Gadon denies any political motives but says if they find probable cause, he may file an impeachment complaint like what he did with former Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno.
Kung magkaroon ng probable cause, baka ganahan ako na i-file yung impeachment. Kasi medyo sanay na ako sa impeachment. Alam ko na kung paano gagawin dyan.
Robredo's camp meanwhile said that Gadon's statement just proves their suspicion on the motive behind the criminal complaints against the Vice President.
Obviously, we're very, very bothered by these statements na impeachment pala talaga ang pagtutukan dito, mukhang merong hand ng OSG dito. Kasi all of that taken together would seem to indicate that this is not an ordinary criminal proceeding as they would have us believe.
The Solicitor General has previously denied having a hand on preparing the affidavit of Advincula versus Robredo and the other accused. If ever a Vice President gets impeached, the President may appoint for a replacement from the Senate or House of Representatives according to the Constitution. For News 5, Marian Enriquez, we are One News.
Meanwhile, Gadon says Supreme Court Associate Justice Antonio Carpio will also likely get an impeachment complaint. Gadon explained that the magistrate's continued meddling on the West Philippine Sea issue is already a ground for impeachment. That's on top of what he says misleading the public about the arbitration ruling on the disputed waters.
That's already a violation of the Constitution because he is already encroaching on the prerogatives of the President. And not only that, as a justice of the Supreme Court, he is misleading the public about this arbitral award. No? Hindi yan binding. Hindi yan legally binding. No? It has no effects.
However, Carpio is unfazed and only had 3 words for Gadon: not worth commenting. Senators are now gearing up to tackle the controversial death penalty bill, a measure that's now backed up by the most powerful man in the country. But who has the numbers in Senate? Mean Los Baños reports.
The death penalty bill has not yet reached the floor for debate, but some senators already have a clear stance on the controversial measure. There are 9 senators in favor of the reimposition of death penalty in the country. Among those in favor of the death penalty are Senate President Tito Soto, Senators Revilla, Gatchalian, Tolentino, and Marcos, and those who filed different versions of the bill like Senators Pacquiao, Go, De La Rosa, and Lacson. But some of them are in favor of reimposing capital punishment for limited crimes like high-level drug trafficking and plunder.
Dapat limited na limited lang talaga. Maski may enumeration ka, wag i-impose yan. Kasi at the end of the day, ang importante dyan talaga, tunay na maging deterrence, tunay naging instrument for social change. So I think there should firstly be a very, very limited list of crimes. And in addition to that list, we should impose a standard, ika nga, guidelines. Ikalawa, there should be very limited use.
Senator Pacquiao said he wishes to push for capital punishment only for drug trafficking. This, he said, will ease the passage of the bill. Plunder may just follow through, Pacquiao added. But Senator Bongo insists that plunder should be part of what he calls an important measure.
Bakit mo iiwan yung plunder? Diba? Related yan Ibig ko sabihin, yung droga, addictive yun. Yung plunder, addictive rin yun. Yung addict sa pera. Sa pagsabay na lang natin para isang pasahan na lang.
5 senators are open to debates on death penalty. Among them are Senators Villar, Cayetano, Pimentel, Lapid, and Angara. The mode of punishment is also bringing division among the senators and drawing the ire of many. Pacquiao and De La Rosa previously suggested that they wanted firing squad. Presidential spokesman Salvador Panelo said in jest that the president may like death by hanging since it is supposedly cheaper. 10 senators are not in favor of death penalty. Opposition Senators Drilon, Ontiveros, Pangilinan, and De Lima. Some senators from the majority bloc like Senators Gordon, Zubiri, Recto, Villanueva, Po, Binay do not approve of the measure as well. Reporting for News 5, Mean Los Baños, we are One News.
Many Filipinos cannot afford quality health care, but the Commission on Audit is flagging the health department after it discovered at the DOH warehouse filled with expired and expiring medicines. Ria Fernandez with this report.
In 2018, the Commission on Audit discovered warehouses of the Department of Health filled with expired medicine, including doxorubicin, a drug for cancer patients, metformin for diabetics, micronutrient powder for kids, point-of-care HIV viral load reagents, and vaccine against Japanese encephalitis. COA adds the health department continued to distribute these drugs to hospitals in the first quarter of 2019. Over 300 million pesos worth of drugs were nearly expired, while the expired medicine cost 30 million pesos. COA said the slow approval of the Food and Drug Administration may be one of the reasons behind the backlog in medicine distribution. The health department said it is resolving the issue on overstocking and distribution of drugs.
As of July 2019, 80% ng mga gamot ang report sa atin ay nailabas naman na daw at naibigay na sa mga local government unit at saka sa mga regional office para ma-distribute.
DOH also implemented organizational changes and hired additional personnel to concentrate in the distribution of medicines. For News 5, Ria Fernandez, we are One News.
Will there be another extension of martial law in Mindanao? President Duterte says it's for the LGUs to decide. During an event in Ilocos Sur on Thursday, President Duterte explained the extent of security problems in Mindanao due to the presence of the Maute and the Abu Sayyaf groups. Duterte says these groups have pledged allegiance with terrorist group ISIS. Now, on the bright side, Duterte says there is already progress on talks with the Moro Islamic Liberation Front and the Moro National Liberation Front. The Armed Forces of the Philippines, meanwhile, says they are still taking into consideration several factors before coming up with their recommendations whether or not to extend a martial law in the region. Admittedly, they say the policy has helped them better monitor terrorist activities and suspects.
I am not advocating for any continuance of the martial law. But if the local government units, the governors, mayors, and even congressmen would find it that it would be to the best interest of the Filipino in Mindanao, I would not hesitate to say yes.
The president also mentioned the New People's Army in his speech on Thursday. The chief executive was unable to hide his anger after 4 policemen in Negros Oriental were allegedly killed and tortured by the members of the NPA. This led him to raise the bounty for the perpetrators to up to 3 million pesos.
Now, nandito ako, I'm raising it to 3 million. Dalhin mo lang yung ulo ng okay na sa akin. Sabi ko. It will keep on increasing and the pressure that goes with it. Kasi pagkatapos yan, pa mag-abot ng 20 milyones yan, sabihin ko, dalhin mo na basking anong ulo, basta leader, dalhin mo na dito.
Meanwhile, here are the biggest stories from the dailies. constitutional amendments through a concurrent congressional resolution? Nope, Palace won't have it. The Philippine Star reports that Malacanang has thumbed down the measure filed by Cagayan de Oro Representative Rufus Rodriguez seeking changes in some political and economic provisions in the 1987 Constitution. Palace spokesman Sal Panelo says any move to amend the charter would only be through a constituent assembly, constitutional convention, or through people's initiative. Panelo says using methods other than these is unacceptable. Metro Manila mayors are given 60 days to clear all national roads. This comes after the MMDA and the Metro Manila Council gathered to discuss President Rodrigo Duterte's call to reclaim all public roads being used for private ends. All of Metro Manila's local executive attended the meeting except for Taguig Mayor Lino Cayetano. Filipino Star ngayon reports that DILG Undersecretary Epemaco Densing III requested the mayors to clear the roads within 2 months. More expensive cigarettes and the like. That's what you can expect, folks, in the next coming months after President Duterte signed the measure raising excise tax on tobacco prices. Business World reports the new law hikes excise tax rates to 45 pesos per pack from the current 35 pesos next year and as much as 60 pesos per pack by 2023. E-cigarettes will also be taxed at 10 pesos per pack beginning next year with a 5% increase after that starting January 2021. Vape products, meanwhile, will be subject to a 10 peso per 10 milliliter excise tax charge. Let's fast break now to Sports Rush. Rain or Shine books its semifinals ticket after crushing Blackwater Elite on Thursday. It wasn't an easy match as the Elites were leading a 13-point deficit in the second quarter. However, the most crucial time, the Elasto Painters turned to sophomore guard Reynam Batak, who led his team with a game high of 21 points on top of 4 rebounds, 4 steals, and 2 assists.
Siyempre doon sa mga veterans namin na sila lagi yung nagbibigay ng motivation sa amin na hindi porket baguhan na kayo sa team na to, hindi kayo pwedeng tumira ng mga big shots. So bigay nyo lang yung best nyo, sabi nila, and talagang every shot dapat confident ka.
Here are the stories to watch out for later today. Bicoy's counsel attorney Larry Gadon will present to the media some of their evidence that they say will support their allegations against Vice President Leni Robredo and other members of the opposition. Meanwhile, Barangay Ginebra is looking to defend their title against the top seed TNT Catropa in the best-of-5 semifinals of the PBA Commissioner's Cup. It's a battle of prized imports Terrence Jones and Justin Brownlee plus star guards Jason Castro and Stanley Pringle. PBA semis open tonight at 7 and you can catch the games live on PBA Rush. And that's how the day is shaping up to be. Join us again next time for another round of Rush. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.